पोस्ट करें, हाँ प्रबोध भाई.
I'm not popping up yet.
I have posted. Okay. Avya?
Yes. Now I'll put what he sent out. I know. I can do it. Oh, I understand.
Sejale post નથી કર્યું ત્યાંના ગ્રુપમાં. ઓમ સહના ભવતુ સહનૌ ભુનક્તુ સહ વીર્યં કરવાવહૈ तेजस्विनावतीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै. ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते. ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं. शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः. ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः. So, we are going to study Shri Dakshinamurti Stotra. Most of you may not be familiar with who Dakshinamurti is. If you are, well and good. But Dakshinamurti is incarnation of Lord Shiva. And he is supposed to be the first teacher. The question that most often arises in most people's mind is, who is the first guru? Who is the first teacher? So, in our parampara, in Hindu tradition, the first teacher is always traced to Bhagavan. Bhagavan is supposed to be, Ishvara is supposed to be the first teacher. And in that also, in different paramparas, in different lineage, different form of Ishvara is supposed to be the first teacher. In Atharva Veda, we find that Brahmaji is the first teacher. Sometimes we find that Narayana is the first teacher. And in some parampara, we find that Lord Shiva himself is the first teacher. Here, of course, Lord Shiva is, and Dakshinamurti ji is nothing but incarnation of Lord Shiva. Just to give you a little story of how Dakshinamurti ji came about. So it has said that Brahmaji had 4 sons, 4 Manasaputra, born from his own Sankalpa. And they are Sanaka, Sanandana, Sanatana and Sanat Kumar. These are 4 supposed to be the Manasaputra of Brahmaji. And when they were born, he asked them to join with him in the function of the creation. Father would always want that the sons, his offsprings, mainly sons, join his hands in his work. Just as a doctor would want that his son should become a doctor so that he can hand over. Like businessmen would want that his business may be taken up by his children, by his sons mainly, not daughter, but son. Similarly, Brahmaji, so this is traced right there. Brahmaji also wanted that his sons should join him in the function and help him in this task of creation. But these 4 were already born with knowledge. Means knowledge in the sense they already had vairagya. Their bent of mind was of renunciation right from the beginning. They must have carried this from their past births. And so they politely declined. They said to Brahmaji, we are not interested in this samsara and we want to pursue only knowledge. So Brahmaji didn't like it, but then he couldn't do anything. So then these 4 went in search of knowledge, went in search of teacher first of all. So then these people came across Naradji. These 4 came across Naradji. And always we have seen in history, in Puranas, then when anybody comes searching something, when they have some questions, then Naradji is always there to guide them. So Naradji said, may you approach the Devatas for this knowledge, the 3 trilogy. First approach them. So these 4 sons, they went to, first of all, to Brahmaji himself for knowledge. Then they saw that Brahmaji was sitting with Saraswatiji and she was playing veena and he was totally engrossed in that. The Sanat Kumaras didn't like it. They didn't like it that the teacher should be engrossed in all these kinds of things. So they went away. They didn't think of Brahmaji as teacher. Then they approached Vishnu. Vishnu was also Lakshmiji. Lakshmiji was there sitting at the feet of Vishnu and pressing his legs and doing his seva and all that. This also, this 4 did not like. So they left that also. Then they are going to Lord Shiva in the form of Shiva himself. And here, to their astonishment, they see that Parvati Devi is right on one part of, in the body of the Shiva only, Ardhanarishwar. No? Shiva is Ardhanarishwar. So he is right, Parvati ji is right there. This also they did not like. According to them, this is also not proper. Indulgence cannot go with knowledge. So then now what to do? All the main 3 devatas, they tried. They did not find their teacher in them. So now they performed penance. Severe austerity they are performing. As a result of that, Lord Shiva was very pleased. And then he incarnated before these as Dakshinamurti, as the form of Dakshinamurti. And then they all sought knowledge from him. Dakshinamurti ji then gave knowledge with just this Chin Mudra. With just Chin Mudra. Chin Mudra is, we will see as we proceed, Chin Mudra is nothing but the first finger, forefinger touching the index and making this circle. So with this Chin Mudra, which indicates Jiva Brahma Aikya. This is Jiva and this is Brahman. Jiva separates himself from these 3, that is samsara, sattva, rajas, tamas, and then separates, dissociates itself from the three and joins with Brahman to make a full circle. In short, denoting oneness. But just this much. This is called Jnana Mudra. This mudra is called Jnana Mudra or Chin Mudra. We had this kind of multiple mudras. Just by mudras, the thing was communicated. So by this Mauna Vyakya, by just remaining silent, but through this gesture, Dakshinamurti ji gave them this knowledge. And that is how the Parampara began. Parampara, so this Parampara began with Dakshinamurti ji. That is how he is supposed to be the first teacher. So if you have heard this verse, Sada Shiva Samarambham, Shankaracharya Madhyamam, Asmadacharya Paryantam, Vande Guru Paramparam. So it begins with Sadashiva. Sadashiva here, but Sadashiva in the form of teacher. Sadashiva is Devata is fine, but we want a teacher. So Sadashiva Samarambham. And in this line of teachers and students, which began with Sadashiva himself, is Dakshinamurti. Comes to Sadashiva Samarambham, Shankaracharya Madhyamam. In the middle is Shankaracharya ji himself, forming the pendant of the necklace, as it were. So and this line of teachers now comes it goes further. Asmadacharya Paryantam, to our teachers. To we therefore salute to this parampara of teachers and students. So that is how, this just to give you an idea of what Dakshinamurti ji is and how he came about. So Dakshinamurti ji is supposed to be the first teacher. Then this Stotra is composed by Shri Shankaracharya ji. Stotra, it is Stotra means Stutihi Nama Guna Kathanam. Stotra means Stuti, praising, eulogizing the Devata or whoever you want to, and thereby receiving their grace. Anybody, when you eulogize them, not just for the sake of it, but understanding them, and by imbibing and understanding their qualities, beautiful qualities, and then with devotion, when it comes out in the form of expression, in the form of a stuti, it is called Stotra. So this Dakshinamurti Stotra, it is a Stotra where attributes of Dakshinamurti ji are sung by Shankaracharya ji himself. But it is not a stotra in that conventional sense. Generally, when we look into a stotra, Madhurashtakam and so many Shiva stotras, Ganesha stotra, Hanumat stotra, Devi stotra, so many. In that we find the Devata being described. Here that kind of description we don't find. So it is not a stotra in that conventional sense. But here Dakshinamurti ji is described, but different forms of Dakshinamurti ji. We will see that the teaching itself comes in the form of this stotra. In fact, the entire Vedanta and the main principles of Vedanta are fully packed in this stotra. And here you will see different forms of Dakshinamurti ji. Dakshinamurti ji is Jiva, Dakshinamurti ji is Creator himself, Dakshinamurti ji is deluded, Dakshinamurti ji as the one who goes to sleep and then wakes up and then remembers. So different forms of Dakshinamurti ji will be shown, and namaskaras will be offered to Dakshinamurti. Each verse, there are 10 verses in this stotra, besides the dhyana shloka. So in the beginning there are dhyana shlokas, and then it is followed by 10 verses. In each of the verse, the last line will be Tasmai Shri Guru Murtaye Shri Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Na, wait. Tasmai Shri Guru Murtaye Namaidam Shri Dakshinamurtaye, which means the last verse, in the last verse, namaskaras are offered to Dakshinamurti and saying that I worship this Dakshinamurti. But as I said, namaskaras are offered to different forms of Dakshinamurti. And in each of the verse, thereby, principles of Vedanta are being shown. The teaching itself comes in this form, and it has been very beautifully composed by Shri Shankaracharya. Now see, the wonder is that Shiva himself is the first teacher here. He himself is Dakshinamurti. And he came at a time, which time? When it was pure Satyuga. When the minds of this Sanat, Sanandana, Sanat Kumar, all of them are born with Vairagya. They don't have to work for Vairagya. Vairagya is already there. And their minds are totally pure and quite subtle. Very, very subtle. They possess this kind of mind. So when this mind is ready, only Mauna Vyakhya will work. The Mauna Vyakhya is enough. Not that it will, we have to say that in such a mind, in such pure, pristine mind, it is enough. Mauna Vyakhya, silent exposition is enough. So he could do with just this Chinmudra, and the students got the knowledge. But that was that time where this kind of exposition is fine. But then came a time, so Lord Shiva incarnated as Dakshinamurti. But then gradually, then there is Satyuga, then there is Treta, then there is Dwapara, then there is Kali Yuga. And as the time proceeds, Artha and Kama, there are 4 Purusharthas, Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. But the first one is Artha and Kama. When these become prominent in life, when these occupy your mind, which Purushartha? Artha and Kama. Artha means security. You work for your security. You are always so worried about it, what will happen, and so let me do this, let me do this. So at all levels you try to surround yourself by different kinds of securities. But that you have to pay a price for it. So your time and energy goes in procuring artha. Then another thing is kamaha. Kamaha is passion, desire, different kinds of desires. Desires of the body, desires of the mind, desires of the intellect, but mainly desires for gross objects. So when these becomes important, mind is slowly getting grosser and grosser and grosser. So at that time, in such a time, Mauna Vyakhya will not work. Now Mauna Vyakhya is not enough. So now the teacher who has to teach also has to speak a lot, has to do many things to communicate. So for the Vedic time, for the Vedas also, in our culture, there came a time when the Vedic literature was on the brink of disintegration, was on the brink of total disintegration. There was a time like that. Kali Yuga is coming. And because of the invaders, so many different invaders were there. Different philosophies were there. Sankhya and Bauddha and Karma Kandas and so many. Karma Kanda is beautiful. It is part of the Vedas. But when it is not understood, when karma is taken just for the sake of karma, then it doesn't help you in preparing yourself. Karma is a means for knowledge. It is a means for knowledge. When karma is done to purify yourself. But when that understanding of karma is lost, then karma is used to to perpetuate karma gets used, not used, it gets used to perpetuate samsara. That is what happens. So a time came when the main message of Vedas was lost. People had no idea of non-duality, of Tattvamasi, what the purport of the Upanishads is. People had just no idea. And different philosophies were taking over. At that time, Shiva came as what? He incarnated as what? Shri Shankaracharya-ji. Dakshinamurti-ji has already come, but he doesn't, now he won't work. Mauna Vyakhya will not work. Now you require a different personality. So Lord Shiva himself again incarnated as Shri Shankaracharya-ji. And now he gave up what? He gave up Mauna Vyakhya. Dakshinamurti-ji, we have never heard him speaking. There is no Upadesha given by him through words. Through words he has not given any Upadesha. Because he gave Upadesha by silence. Just by remaining silent. But what? But still students were subtle enough to grasp the truth which is just there, which communicates itself, which makes itself evident just by mauna. So it is that kind of mauna, which silence, which is not even opposed to sound, which is not denied by words, which is the basis of both peace as well as sound. That kind of maunam he taught just by being there and just by this chin mudra. But this can be done provided students or disciples are ready for this. And for that, what do you require? Vairagya plus a mind which is extremely subtle, focused. Drishyate tu agraya buddhya, sukshmaya sukshmadarshipihi. It is said that esha sarveshu bhuteshu gudhotma na prakashate. It has been said that Atma is hidden in such a place that it doesn't reveal itself. But, so it is not easy to see, not easy to understand. No wonder that people are going round and round and round in search of truth. But it can be seen, it can be understood, it can be grasped by whom? One who possesses agraya sukshmaya buddhya. Agra buddhi, sukshma buddhi. Agra means very, very focused and sharp. And sukshma means very, very subtle. When the mind becomes very subtle and very sharp and very focused, then only it is possible to acquire this knowledge. But it was there with the students, so that worked. But now it's not possible. Already people have lots and lots of confusions in their mind. And the teachers were confusing it more because they themselves were lost as to what the real theme of Vedas is. You require a proper teacher who can look in and through the Shastra. But that was not there. People were totally misguided. There was just confusion, nothing but what shall we say? Total misdirection. At such a time, Shankaracharya ji appears. Lord Shiva comes in the form of Shankaracharya ji. Maunam muktva. Now he gave up silence. And gave up, we will see, Dakshinamurti ji gave this knowledge sitting under a banyan tree. Now that also sitting in one place will not work. You have to, with times, the teachers also have to change. They have to come out from their caves, come out from Himalayas, give up Maunam, and then travel, and then go to the students. Students may not come to you. They are too busy. Students are very busy. They have their own, maybe as if they have their things to do. So many things are there which are more important. So teachers have to go and try to show the importance of this. There is no guarantee that it will be seen, but at least an effort is to be made. So now the teacher is changed. Shankaracharya ji came, and in only 32 years, he travelled the length and breadth of India. Length and breadth. From Kashmir to Kanyakumari. And from west to east and west, north and south. Everywhere he travelled not once, not twice, but thrice. Thrice. And no flights, no train, no buses, no cars, nothing. On foot. On foot he travelled and spread the message. And not only spreading the message to students who are eager to learn. There were so many disputants, so many vadis. 72 different philosophies existed, not one or two. Dvisaptati mato kshetre namaha. It has been said in the Shankaracharya's names. One of these names is he who taught, he who argued and disputed and taught to 72 different matas. 72 different philosophies were there. Each of their teachers, each of the mata were so powerful, and he had to talk to everyone. He had to deal with everyone, and they were all very powerful and strong. Then the more the ignorance is, then the more you hold on to your matas in a more strong way. You are not ready to give up your views. Some kind of jadata, it comes when you don't know. People who know are very humble and ready to grasp. But those who do, fanaticism will come. You find fanaticism. You are just not open-minded to understand. So such matas were there. And he dealt with everyone. Taught them with compassion. Not with the orientation that I want to win over you. No. He taught and taught so convincingly that they were converted. Not conversion by force, not conversion of that type, but the knowledge of oneness, of what everyone is seeking really, that was taught to them. So this is how same Shiva came as Shankaracharya ji, same Shiva came as Dakshinamurti ji, and same Shiva came as Shankaracharya ji, depending on the kind of time. So, and he has composed this Dakshinamurti Stotra, which I said is made of, it consists of 10 verses. And before that are the Dhyana shlokas of Dakshinamurti ji. So, and as I said, in each of this mantra, each of these verses is nothing but our story. Story of the teacher himself, who is a student, also a creator, also going different siddhantas of Vedanta you will find being unfolded in this 10 verses. There are actually main verses are 8. 8 verses are made. But the last 2 verses are pertaining to some little bit of upasana is there. And in the last verse there is phala of the upasana is also given. So actually 8 plus 2, but they are also very important. So in this way 10 verses are there. And so, now let us begin with this. But first of all, I would like to tell you about his form. Dakshinamurti's form is also very similar to Lord Shiva. It is similar to the form of Lord Shiva. But here you will find, so before we proceed with this Stotra and this, I would like to just show you his form. 1 second. I brought a wrong book. See, as the very name suggests, Shri Dakshinamurti. So, Shri Dakshina, Shri, you know, Shri means what? Tattva bodhatmika shobha Shrihi asya asti iti Shriman. Shri means Shriman, one who possesses the beauty. But here what is the beauty? Tattva bodhatmika Shri. Beauty in the form of knowledge of the truth. That kind of Shri, one who possesses, that Dakshinamurti. Now Dakshina means he is the one who sits in the north facing south. The teacher here is, that is how the name is, Dakshinamurti. So he sits in the north facing south. So the students are facing north. Why? There is some meaning behind this. It suggests something. See, in our tradition, Uttara, north direction is supposed to be very, very pure. Uttara, Uttara means you rise and then cross. So what it means is rise above the samsara and cross it over. So north is that direction. From where the knowledge is coming, all the rishis used to be there, Himalayas are there. And from north is supposed to be the direction of knowledge. And south is the direction of death. South is supposed, plus Karma Kanda is in south mainly. Then north is all the knowledge. This is how it has been seen. That doesn't mean that in south, in other directions of India, Karma Kanda is not there. Everywhere it is, but generally speaking, in those days it was found that Karma Kanda was very beautifully performed by the priests of the south. So, this is how he is sitting. And then on his head you will find that there is Gangaji flowing from him, which stands for knowledge. As I said, the form is very akin to Lord Shiva himself. Then he has sun and moon on his crown. So that is also there. He has 3 eyes, where one of the eyes is for the knowledge. Then he has 4 hands. Yes, before that, he has on the left ear, the ring is of a female. Right ear, he wears the ring of a man. Why? Because here Purusha and Prakriti are, both of them are there. Then he has 4 hands. Let me show you, yeah. On the left hand above, there is this what? There is this Pasha and Ankusha. Pasha, Ankusha is there on the left hand above. Left hand below is Chin Mudra. Is the Chin Mudra. If you see the form, I think it is there in the room above. We will bring it in the next class. It is there. So, okay, yeah, you can bring it. And in the 4 hands, left hand above is the, as I said, Pasha, Ankusha, and then below it is Japamala and Chin Mudra. Right side is fire in one of the hands, and in the other hand is the book, which also stands for knowledge. Then he has all the 5 elements also in him. Akasha is there, fire is there in one of the hands, and water Gangaji is in the form of the water. Vayu is there. Vayu stands, his jata, his matted lock stands for Vayu. Prithvi is of course there. So this is his form. And then he sits with his left foot on the right foot. His left foot is kept on the right foot. And below his right foot is a small dwarf which is known as, is an asura. He is known as Apasmar. Apasmar means he keeps the ego. Apasmar stands for the ego. He keeps the ego within check. So this is the form of Dakshinamurti ji. Now we will, with this much, just to give you an idea of the form, because as I said, with other forms we are familiar, but not with the form of Dakshinamurti ji. So now we will proceed with the Dhyana Shloka. I hope you have that with you, or it is there given in the PDF. So the first verse I am reading, if you can repeat, just this one, yeah, see, just see, you can see this, you can afterwards in the break, you can just have a look at the form. See here, the left leg is kept on the right, and below this is the asura called Apasmara. And here Pasha, Ankusha, then Japamala, Chinmudra, fire, Gangaji is coming out from his jata. Then here this is female's earring, left side is male's earring. So both Ardhanarishwara he signifies. So the first verse, Maunavyakhya prakatita para brahma tattvam yuvanam varshishthante vasadrushikane ravrutam brahmanishtai Acharyendram karakalitachin mudramanandarupam svatmaramam muditavadanam Dakshinamurti mide. So see, we'll quickly look into this. Mauna Vyakhya Prakatita Parabrahma Tattvam Yuvanam. See, as I said, this Dakshinamurti ji taught by Mauna Vyakhya, silent exposition. Prakatita, but by that, Prakatita Parabrahma Tattvam. Just by the silent exposition, he unfolded the Parabrahma Tattvam. Why? Because he is nothing but that. He himself is nothing but that Tattva. And students, and this silence gets communicated. Silence is not opposed to words. This is that silence which is not opposed to words. As I said, it is the very basis of both the words as well as the sound. But this students were able to understand. And he is what? Yuvanam. He is all young. This teacher is all young. And students who surround him, all of them are very old. Varshishthante vasat rishi ganehi avrutam brahma. See, all the Varshishthante vasat rishi ganehi. All the rishis, his students are all the sages. But they are all, age-wise, they are all even elder to Dakshinamurti ji himself. But that also signifies something. Why? Because they are in samsara from anadi time, anadi kala. Jiva is sinking in the ocean of samsara since beginningless time. So, but still, they are all seekers. And what kind of seeker? Brahmanishthaihi Rishi Ganehi. They are all Brahmanishta. Brahmanishta means here they don't know Brahma. Not that Brahma. But this is Saguna Brahma. Not Param Brahma, but Saguna Brahma. So these rishis themselves are well versed. They are well versed with Saguna Brahma. with upasanas, and Brahman with qualities. Brahman with attributes they are well versed with. So these kind of students, but they are not aware, or they do not have the knowledge of Nirguna Brahma, the highest reality, that they are not aware of. So this kind of students are very, very knowledgeable in Apara Brahma. These students surround him and they signify samsara, and that is why they are all elder to him. They are all old, in fact, whereas Dakshinamurti ji is young. By that, what it signifies is that knowledge is always fresh. He never, and knowledge of Param Brahma, and knowledge itself, Param Brahma itself is beyond time and space. It is not confined to time and space. That is why always Yuvanam. He is Yuvanam. And who is he? Acharyendram. He is the chief, and he is the Indra among all the acharyas, the best. He is best among all the teachers, because very naturally, obviously, because he is the first teacher. Plus Karakalita Chin Mudram. He is having in his hands the mudra of Chin Mudra. It is also called Jnana Mudra, which we already have talked about. Plus he is always Ananda Rupam, always there is always smile, and always steeped in, abiding in nothing but happiness, because that is his nature. Plus Svatma Ramam, he is always Svatma Ramam, is engrossed, he revels in himself, because Atma itself is of the nature of happiness. His happiness doesn't come from the world outside. His happiness comes from himself. Atmani eva atmana tushtaha. He is happy in himself, by himself. And that is why mudita vadanam, always his face is pleasing. Always there is a smile on his, which shows his cheerfulness, which shows his prasannata. So mudita vadanam. Such Dakshinamurtim Ide, I worship this Dakshinamurti. By the way, you must, if you have visited the ashrama at Salisbury, Vidya Gurukulam, there you will find that there is a temple of Dakshinamurti ji. But that Dakshina, because it is a place of knowledge, so Dakshinamurti ji is placed there. And it is Medha Dakshinamurti. The Dakshinamurti is given the name. What name? Medha Dakshinamurti. There are three forms of Dakshinamurti ji: Yoga Dakshinamurti ji and Veena Dakshinamurti. There is this three different forms of Dakshinamurti ji is there. But the one which we have in the ashram Gurukulam is Medha Dakshinamurti. Even in Anaikatti and Rishikesh, everywhere there is this form of Dakshinamurti. So to such a Dakshinamurti ji, I worship. Guru's grace, teacher's grace is very much important for seekers. That is why worship of the teacher. Then further his description is given in the second mantra, second shloka. Vatavitapi samipe bhumi bhage nishannam sakala muni jananam jnanadataramarat tribhuvana gurumisham dakshinamurti devam janana marana dukkha cheda daksham namami. See, Vatavitapi samipe bhumi bhage nishannam. See, he says, I bow down to Shri Dakshinamurti ji, who is, where is he seated? Vatavitapi samipe bhumi bhage nishannam, who is seated on the ground under the banyan tree. Vatavitapi samipe bhumi bhage. He is seated on the ground under the banyan tree. Nishannam. Nishannam means seated. Plus what does he do? Sakala muni jananam jnana datara marathi. Quickly imparts knowledge to all the munis. So students are also qualified here. Sakala Muni Jananam Jnanadataram Arat. Quickly imparts the knowledge. Doesn't take much time here. Plus, who is he? Tribhuvana Guru Misham. He is the teacher of all the three worlds. Dakshinamurti Devam. Plus, Janana Marana Dukkha Cheda Daksham Namami. I bow down to this teacher who is expert, who is adept in what? Janana Marana Dukkha Chedam. Who very quickly, very adeptly destroys the cause of Janana Marana. What is that cause? Nothing but ignorance. Ignorance is the diagnosis of samsara. The roga, bhava roga is nothing but ajnanam. He can see through this and can destroy it also. By what? Just by this. Showing that this, because this is separated from this one, not really separated also. Separated just by notion. But this is conveyed by mudras. That because you are associated with samsara, and what is samsara? Samsara we will see, but it is nothing but identifying with the Sanghata, identifying with body, mind and intellect. Atma or Brahman taking himself to be the body becomes Jiva. Without really becoming, he has this notion. So Sattva, Rajas, Tamas stands for samsara, Maya. And so far, as long as you are into that, samsara will not leave you. But moment you dissociate with them and join with Brahman, no real joining. Joining here, giving up the notion and owning up your true nature. This much is to be done. So this is shown. Janana Marana Dukkha Cheda Daksham. That is why also Dakshina. Dakshina, one of the meaning of Daksha means very skillful, very adept. Does this very quickly. Diagnoses the cause of samsara and even gives the medicine for that. What is the medicine? Tattvamasi. Jiva Brahma Aikya. So very, 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 very good at that. Very skillful. To him I bow down my head. Then further. Chitram vatataror mule vruddha shishya gurur yuva gurostu mauna vyakhyanam shishyastu chinna samshaya. This we have already seen, but Chitram Vatataror mule vruddha shishya gurur yuva. It is really wondrous. Chitram means it's really wondrous that Vatataror mule, the vruddha shishyaha guru, under the banyan tree you see that the teacher is yuvanam, he is very young, and vruddha shishyaha, students are all old. Again, as I said, one stands for Brahman, other stands for samsara, and samsara anadi kala suptaha. Jivas are sleeping in the slumber of ignorance since immemorial time, since beginningless time. So they are all old. That is why. And how does this teacher teach? Gurostu maunam vyakhyanam. Guru gives the exposition remaining silent. But this shishyastu chinna samshayaha. But this itself quells all the samshayas and doubts of the students. Everything goes. It has been experienced, when you are, it has been said about many teachers, Raman Maharshiji. They say that people used to come with lots and lots of questions. He would not speak anything. He would just be there. And the students then afterwards used to report that our doubts are gone. So, but students also have to be of that stature. And when you just don't ask questions, but you ask questions when you try yourself to get the answer. When you yourself try deliberate upon it, study, deliberate. So lot of manthana, churning has to go on in you, in the students first. Then when the answer is given, it clicks. But when the churning is not done, and when the questions are asked, remember, it will never get answered. Again you will go back to the same questions. So churning has to be done. You have to first listen, churn, work hard upon it. You have to yourself try to find the answers based on the Shravanam, based on what you have heard. When that churning doesn't happen, mananam doesn't happen, then even if the answers are given, it won't click. So these all students were of that type, that they have themselves, they grappled, they tried to find out the answers. And so now they are when in the vicinity of all silence, all purity. Then they find the prabhava, the influence is such. Then, Nidaye sarva vidyanam vishaje bhavaroginam gurave sarva lokanam Dakshinamurtaye namaha. Nidaye sarva vidyanam vishaje bhavaroginam. This is all, namaskaras are offered, namaskaras, and always namaskara governs the fourth case. It governs the namaskara. So Nidaye sarva vidyanam. He is what? He is the treasure house, the storehouse of all knowledge. Not only knowledge of Nirguna, but Saguna Brahma, everything. Nidaye sarva vidyanam. All this speciality, all the attributes of Dakshinamurtiji are shown. These are Dhyana Shloka. So when you read this, Dakshinamurtiji comes before you. You have the picture of Dakshinamurtiji, right? Who am I propitiating to? Who am I worshipping? I am worshipping the teacher who is of this type, who is the storehouse of all the knowledge. Bishaje bhavaroginam. He is the doctor. Doctor for which roga? Yeah, thank you. He is the healer for those who suffer from the disease of samsara. Everybody suffers from the disease of samsara. And what is the disease of samsara? What is the main disease of samsara? I am incomplete. From ignorance, this notion arises. Which notion? I am incomplete. I am different from the world. I am one insignificant, helpless, hapless creature in this large, vast world. World is too much for me. I am incomplete. I am inadequate. This is the main roga is of samsara. From this only everything arises. All shoka, bhaya, everything arises just from this, that I am separated from you. I am separated from Ishvara and I am nothing. And I want to fulfill my desires which are never going to be fulfilled from samsara. This is the main roga, and he heals this roga in one stroke. In just one stroke, in one medicine but very powerful. Those capsules, are very powerful, full of the power. This much mg and that much 700 and more than that. Such high mg containing capsules are given, antibiotics or medicine. In just one stroke, tattvamasi, you are what you are seeking. You are what you are seeking. Don't look for it outside. The seeker himself is the sought. The seeker himself is the sought. The sought is he himself, hidden in himself. So this is the medicine given by this doctor. Gurave sarvalokanam, he is the teacher of entire three worlds. To such Dakshinamurtiji namaha, I offer my salutations. Then last verse. Om Namah Pranavarthaya Shuddha-jnanaikamurtaye Nirmalaya Prashantaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Again, Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. To Dakshinamurti ji, my frustrations. Who is he? Om Namaha Pranavarthaya. He is the meaning of Pranava. Pranava means Omkara. Omkara is one syllable, wondrous mantra. One syllable, just one syllable. A-U-M. Nothing but Akara, Ukara, Makara and the Adhisthana, the Shanti, Amatra upon which these three matras stand. A, U, Ma are the three matras. But what is the basis of these three matras? Amatra, which means silence. You must have seen in Omkara, this is what is there. But then above that, this is there, like Chandrakara, Ardha Chandrakara. That stands for silence. That stands for Amatra or silence. It is from that Akara comes, Ukara comes, Makara comes. Akara, Ukara, Makara stands for samsara. Stands for Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti. Stands for the three worlds. Stands for everything, Brahma, Vishnu, everything. Everything, the entire creation gets compressed in what? A, U, Ma. When you open your mouth, A. When it is elongated, U. And when you close it, Ma. Om. And Ma goes back where? A also came from where? Didn't come from Shunyam. It came from Amatra, silence. From silence came A, U, Ma. And then when you close your mouth, again it goes back to silence. So from silence the word goes back to silence. So this words A, U, Ma, samsara. So Omkara, just this one mantra, one syllable mantra, stands for both Saguna Brahma, Nirguna Brahma. Saguna Brahma means samsara, designated by what? A, U, Ma. Samsara comes in A, U, Ma. Jagrat Avastha, we don't have time to get into this entire meaning of Om. But the samsara is indicated by A, U, Ma. And silence or Adhisthana or Brahman is indicated by what? By that Amatra. So Omkara, when you utter Omkara, the entire Brahma comes. Brahma has two forms. Which form? Nirguna and Saguna, or Para, Apara. Para is Brahman, Nirguna Brahma, Apara is Saguna Brahma. So both are indicated by this one mantra, Akara, Omkara. So, and who is that Amatra? Dakshinamurti himself. Dakshinamurti ji himself is that. So, Om Namah Pranavarthaya. Namaha to that which is the meaning of Pranava. Pranava is another name for Omkara. Who is he? Shuddha Jnanaikamurta. He is who is in the form of pure knowledge. Dakshinamurti is nothing but, what shall we say, form or the body of knowledge, epitome of knowledge, murti of knowledge. Nirmala, all pure, transparent. Prashanta, very quiet, silence, tranquility. To this Dakshinamurti ji, my salutations. So when we also understand Nirguna Brahma, understand that it is nothing but Dakshinamurti ji. So teacher really stands for this. Teacher really is nothing but Dakshinamurti, silence itself. So these are the Dhyana shlokas for Dakshinamurti ji himself. So that you get the idea. The teacher, you look up to the teacher and you worship him to get his grace. It is not just, what shall we say, indifferent kind of learning that I learn from someone. No, you learn from a teacher whom you worship. Shvetashvatar Upanishads talk about this, devotion to the teacher. Shvetashvatar Upanishad says, there is devotion in Upanishads also. It says, Yasya deve parabhaktihi yatha deve tatha guru. One who has parabhakti for one's Ishtadevata, the kind of bhakti, devotion that one has for one's Devata, Ishtadevata, the same kind of devotion when one has for one's teacher. For one's teacher. Tasyaite kathita hyartaha prakashante mahatmana. For such a Mahatma, see here the student is described as Mahatma. What kind of Mahatma? One who has parabhakti, devotion, his heart is melted with devotion not only for his Ishta Devata, personal Devata, but also for the teacher. To such a person, Upanishads reveal the mantras. The meaning of the mantras will get revealed for such a person. Understand, the mantras have to reveal their meanings. Then only we know them. They have to open themselves. They have to unfold themselves. But when will they unfold themselves? When will we be able to see the meanings? When this reverence and devotion is there for the one who reveals that. So the teacher also. So that is why the Dhyana Shloka, which gives us the picture. When we read that, when we chant them, we get the picture. The teacher himself stands for the reality. So devotion for him, I worship that. So with this, the Dhyana Shlokas are over. And now we can begin with the Stotra itself. Let us read the first verse. As I said, each verse is giving us the Leela of Dakshinamurti. Just as Srimad Bhagavatam or Shiva Purana or these Ramcharitmanas, etc., they give us the story and Leela of Rama, Krishna, Vishnu, Shiva. Give us Leela. They're different sports. He sports in different forms. So here who is sporting? Dakshinamurti ji himself. Sport of Dakshinamurti. And we will find that it is our story, our autobiography, if we try to see. So this is what Dakshinamurti ji, it's a wonderful stotra. Unlike other stotras, where you come to know about the Leela of that particular Devata. Say Lord Krishna, how he is sported in Vrindavan with gopis and that kind of thing. But here Dakshinamurti, the teacher, as student himself, as the deluded jiva himself, deluded, but that is also Dakshinamurti. Then deluded different vadis, then how he goes to sleep, then wakes up, how he passes through different stages of life, balya, dishu, jagra, child, and then infant, and then child, and then adolescent, then youth, then senior, like that. In each state, the Dakshinamurti ji sees himself as the one common denominator. So that is how in each verse, pay attention, you will be seeing the different forms of Dakshinamurti ji. And to those different forms, namaskaras will be offered. So now first verse. In the first three verses, we will see that Tattvamasi is being unfolded. In the first three verses, Tattvamasi is unfolded. So the quintessence of Vedanta you will get in this one word, in one stotra. So first verse I am reading. You can chant along with me. Vishvam darpan drushyamana nagari tulyam nijantargatam pashyannatmani mayaya bahiribod bhutai yatha nidraya यस्साक्षात् कुरुते प्रबोध समये स स्वात्मानमेवाद्वयं तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये. See, what is the last line? Tasmai Shri Guru Murtaye Nama Idam Shri Dakshinamurtaye. Salutation to Shri Dakshinamurti ji, who is manifest in the form of my teacher. So this is the last line. First the salutation is offered to Dakshinamurti ji. And who is he? Who is he? So he is the one. See, one who Pashyan Atmani Mayaya, who sees the world, but because of Maya, he looks at the world, but what does this Maya do? Maya is nothing but ignorance. Ignorance, but ignorance has twofold power. One power is to conceal the truth, and the other power is to project. So, Dakshinamurti, now here in the first two lines, we will see that Dakshinamurti is deluded. He himself is Jiva and doesn't know the reality of the world. And in the third line, we will see that he is now what? He has now become, he has awoken from the sleep of ignorance and now knows the truth. Understood? In the first two lines, we will find that Dakshinamurti ji doesn't know the reality and looks at the world in a different way, takes the world as real. But in the third line, we will find that he wakes up from that. Of course, in between the lines, we have to see that he went to the teacher. Before that, he had Vairagya. Before that, he led a life of Karma Yoga. Then went to the teacher and then came to know. All this we have to read between the lines. But this Dakshinamurti ji is being offered salutations to. See, Pashyan Atmani Mayaya. He, because of the Maya, his own ignorance, what does he see? He looks upon the Vishwam. He looks upon the world as what? Now here world is about, there are two adjectives used for the world. Which are the two adjectives? Vishwam is what? Like what? Darpana Drushyamana Nagari Tulyam. This creation, Dakshinamurti ji is looking at the creation. Now this creation is of what type? Darpana Drushyamana Nagari Tulyam. This creation is nothing but like a city seen in a mirror. Sometimes, big malls are there and there are big mirrors over there, right on their door. Big mirrors are there. Then in the mirror, you will see what? Whatever is going on the roadside. Cars and pedestrians and cycles and auto rickshaw. In India, there are many pan shops and so many. In that they have big mirrors. When you go to buy a bitter leaf pan from there, then you are buying and then you see the people moving on the road. Cycle is going, bus is going, people are going, ladies and gents, everybody are. But where do you see? There. Where is the world? It is there and you see it there. You are seeing it in the mirror, what is really out. Mirror has no depth to hold what is being seen inside. You follow? Mirror is flat. It has no depth, etc. No dimension, no other dimensions to hold what you are seeing. Buses, big buses are going. Trains are going. Everything. People are talking and walking and so many things are happening. Different kinds of people. They are one king may be going, beggar may be going, women, man, children, old, everything. Big samsara is there. It is all happening, all commotion. It is all there. But you see it in the mirror. Now, if a child, what we are wise in that matter. But if a child, what will he see? Mom, see what is there. See, there is a balloon there. See, there is a toy there. I want it. Where is he seeing? He is seeing in the mirror and takes it to be real and looks for it there. Vishwam is like that. Creation is like that. Vishwa, one adjective. Darpana Drushya Mana Nagari Tulyam. Like the city seen in the mirror. Where is this city? Where is this Vishwam? Nija Antaragatam. City is seen in the mirror. Similarly, the creation is seen where? Creation is really inside. Nija Antaragatam. Where is this creation? We will see. Like the dream. Nija Antaragatam Pashyan Atmani Mayaya Bahihi Iva Udbhutam. Yatha Nidraya. Now another example is given. What is this example of dream? Yatha Nidraya, just as in dream. In dream, you create the entire creation. Where is that creation? Nija Antaragatam. Just as the city is inside but was outside. Not where it is. Similarly, in dream, you project. You create, you imagine a whole world. But where is it? There you imagine of, in the dream, I imagine of Boston. And Boston and the Harvard University and everything and so many other things I see in dream. Can my body hold the Harvard University? And all the students and faculty is moving here and there and going to study and this and that. So many different subjects are being taught. So many things are happening. Where? Where? In my mind. My mind only has spread out. In the form of what? In the dream there are animate, inanimate objects. Every stavara, jangama, chetana, achetana, everything is there in the dream world. But everything is where? Nija Antaragatam. It is in me, my mind. But that time, do we know that? When the dream is going on, we don't know that. We take it as real. In the dream, you are one of the persons, and there are many others. You transact with them, talk to them, give and take, everything happens. With whom? With your own self. One part of your mind is transacting with doing vyavahara with the other part of the mind. But it is one mind. So in this dream world, there is one jiva, another jiva, third jiva, animate objects, inanimate objects, so many things. The entire world, dream world, is one. In that there are divisions of different jivas. An entire thing is nothing but Bhagavan. Means my mind only. My mind has created this world. And my mind itself is the participants and all the actors in the dream. I made the dream world, I became the dream world. Without really becoming. I cannot become cement. I cannot become the bricks. I cannot become the space. If I had become, then when I wake up, what should I be? How to make this into a brick or a tree or water? What? Nothing. In Mandukya Karika, the Gaudapadacharya deals with this also. Because there are some people who believe that dream is real. And in the dream, if I go to Boston, I'm really going. But then I cannot come back. When we wake up, we are waking up in the same place. When I went to sleep, and when I wake up, I find myself in the same bed. Nothing has changed. So the dream world is nothing but in me, but still projection. There is no substantiality in the dream, no substantiality at all, except that the mind has spread out. It is nothing but the mind, work of the mind. Similarly, this is about dream. But now this is drashtanta. What is this? This is example. So two examples are given. Which are they? citizen in the mirror and dream. Two examples are given to show what? Vishwam is also like that. Vishwam darpana drishyamana nagari tulyam swapna tulyam. It is also Vishwam. What is this Vishwam? This world. Now we are talking of Jagrata Avastha, this waking world which we see before us, solid. It's also like a dream. Tulya. Not a dream but like, which means its nature is like that of a dream. Which means a dream is what? Nothing but projection. You see things going on, but confined to just that time. To just that time. What is the time of the dream? They say very few minutes, not even few minutes. And in one corner of the mind, in some veins, this is going on. Where is the place for all this? Where is the time for all this? Desha Kala is not there for all this. But still, see the capacity of the mind. Just see. Dream is showing a big thing, huh? Had the dream not been there, it would be very difficult to understand the nature of this world. So Bhagavan has given us a very good clue to understand the nature. Dream is an excellent example. Similarly, in the waking world, Kalpayatyatmanatmanam Atma Devasva Mayaya. Bhagavan Karikakara says that Atma in himself, by himself, imagines. Kalpayati Atmana Atmanam Atma Devaha Swamaya. Atma means Bhagavan himself imagines himself in himself, by himself, what? This entire creation. Vishwam means what? Vividha Pratyaya Gamyam, which means there are variety, total disparity is there. Different human beings, different species, jati, karma, kriya, karma phala, so many things. All this comprises of Vishwam. Things are different, but what is there? There is nothing but one which is spread out. Just as in dream, my mind is spread out. My mind is the material from which the dream is made. Similarly, here the Vishwam is made from the material called Maya. From the Maya and Bhagavan's intelligence. This two is making the entire creation. But just as important thing to understand is that it is not where it is seen. It is not where it is seen. Where is the Vishwam seen? Out. I feel that you are all out. I am one of you, different from you. But everything is happening out. It's not out. Where is it? Nija antaragatam. It is mind. My own mind projecting. Projecting, just as dream. Dream is nothing but projection. You are sleeping and all this going on inside. You are sleeping in your bed and then dreaming that you are a beggar. In your bed with all AC and big mansion and all cushions and mattresses, beautiful, everything, you are sleeping. And what do you dream of? What do you dream of? I am a beggar. So dreaming of a beggar, is it real?
No.
It is seen in that time you don't know this. At that time you are really feeling helpless. So Vishwam is seen out, but it is not out, which means it is not where it is seen. Plus, it is not real. We take this creation to be real. The water is real, fire is real, objects are real. My sense of inadequacy real. And then I go to the world to fulfill myself real. I want happiness from the world. This thing I feel as if it is real. But what is all this? Nothing but play of myself with myself. Play of myself with myself. Here there is nothing but mind. Maya. What is at the individual level called mind is nothing but Maya at the samashti level. So, the names and forms we see are different. You are different, I am different, my disposition, my name, my form different from you. But what is the content? Nothing but Maya. It is nothing but Maya. Nijantaragatam. But seen what? Bahihi iva udbhutam. Bahihi iva Ivakara. Vashikara uses Ivakara. Iva means what? As it were. Outside as it were. It is actually in me, my own mind, figment of my imagination, but seen as if out and real. So you understand? What is in is seen out, and what is unreal seen as real. We think nobody knows this. Even now, if this wall cannot be unreal, it is real at its own time. There is no reality about it. Let me tell you. See, there is a story of Janaka. Once Janaka experienced this, that he went to sleep, and in the sleep he experiences that enemies have come, they have invaded Mithila, and he is captured, and then he is left in the woods totally without anything. And now Janaka is moving everywhere in the wood, totally tired. And then he comes to a city, he is so hungry and thirsty and totally tired. Then somebody was, this is whose dream? Janaka's dream I am describing. Janaka was the king of Mithila. Then he is dreaming, and then he comes in a city where somebody was distributing food for all the beggars. So he also stood in that line. And then when his turn came, the food is over. The khichdi was being distributed. Then when his turn came, there is no khichdi remained. So then they pulled everything. Women can do it. They pulled women from with the spoon and the ladle, they took out, and little was given somehow to Janaka. He is about to put it in his mouth, and an eagle comes and snatches it away. He is so hungry, poor fellow, so hungry that he cried. The cry came out, the sigh, they say sigh. It came out from his mouth. Oh my God, oh Bhagavan. And then he woke up. Now he wakes up. Now he is asking. He sees that there is no dearth of food and water and riches around him. Sleeping on his bed, queens are standing. There is water here and everything is in the bedroom also we keep all this. So he is asking, is this true or that true? What is he asking? Is this true? And he had slept with all the food in his stomach. He had just had dinner of rasmalai and mangoes and everything. Full-fledged dinner he had, and then went to sleep. Imagine, then still becoming hungry. So now he is asking, is this true or that true? Which means here I am surrounded by all food and water and all the glamour and all the luxuries. Is this true or that one true? There I had nothing. Even khichdi was, this one burnt out khichdi was also not available for me. So now he keeps on asking everyone, what is true? This true or that true? They all thought that he has gone mad. Everybody thought, his wife thought now he has gone mad. Then they are calling the doctors and everything. They also, yes, it's too much for Janaka, now he should retire, and he is not well, mentally not well. This is the diagnosis. But still, somebody called Ashtavakra. He is a wise man. Ashtavakra was the teacher of Janaka, one of the teachers. So Ashtavakra came and he said, what is your problem? So he said, is this true or that true? So Ashtavakra understood. He said, neither is this true nor is that true. None of this is true. So he asked him, see, he said, was all this, all your luxuries and food and kitchen, big, were they available when you were moving about as beggar? Were they available? He said, no. Then he says, is that hunger now present in this state? When you are as a Janaka, is that khichdi etc. available now? Means, are you going through that hunger now? He said, no. So what was there in the dream is not there in the waking. What is in the waking is not there in the dream. And what is the criteria for the truth? What is the niyama? It has to be always there. Abaditam satyam. Satyam is that which cannot be negated, which cannot not be at any time, at any place, ever, in any condition. That is truth. So neither is dream truth nor is waking truth. Then what is the truth? I, Atma, Aham, Chaitanya. So in short, this waking is also not true as much as the dream is not true. Just as dream is inside, projection, no substantiality, not real, similarly this world is of that type. So it is easy for us to understand that this state is real. Dream is mithya, we understand. Why? Because from that we wake up. And then we find that that world is no more there. Every day we go and dream and then come back. So we know that that state is not true. But from this, we take this to be real. But here waking up is of a different kind. Here you have to wake up. Wake up in knowledge. In truth you have to wake up. And how will that happen? When these questions puzzle you. What is the truth? Everything is coming and going. My childhood went away. My youth is going away. My even old age is going away. Then what is it that is remaining? Why so much? What is bondage? What is liberation? What is liberation? What is the reality? When the mind is bothered by these kind of questions, then you try to find answers to them. And then comes a light in your life in the form of a teacher. When these all we have to read in between the lines. And then a teacher comes in your life and he teaches you what? That neither is this true nor dream true. And then what is the truth? You are the truth. This body, this mind, this intellect, this prana, this gross body, everything is unreal. Even the world outside is unreal. It is nothing but projection. What is the truth? I. Because of which everything is happening. Maya tatamidam sarvam jagad Adhyatmurtina. Bhagavan says that I pervade the entire creation. By what? By my Adhyatmurti. Adhyakta means my formless nature. What is that? Satchit Anand. By that I pervade the entire creation. This creation is in me. I am not in them. This creation is in me. I am not in them. Just as the actor can say that beggar, the role of the beggar, the role of the magician, all these different roles are in the actor. But actor is not the beggar. Beggar is the actor. You follow what I am saying? Beggar is the actor. But actor is not the beggar. Which means what? The beggar is not the reality of the actor. Whereas beggar cannot say that I am not the actor. Actor is not in me. If you remove the actor from the beggar, if you remove Amitabh Bachchan from the beggar role, that role of the beggar that he is playing, where will the beggar go? Because Amitabh himself, Amitabh is the main, he means big hero in Indian cinemas. If you remove him, then where will the beggar go? Because he himself is donning the costume of a beggar. So that role is because of him, but he is not because of them. Which means the waking world, the dream world, everything is because of the self. Self is not because of them. Matstani sarvabhutani nachaham teshu avasthitah. This the teacher teaches. You are not one of this. Everything is you. In the dream, there is a supposing, there is one person who is the teacher. And the other person, other jiva is what? A disciple. Now, this guru person, in the teacher in the dream, teaches this student in the dream. What? You are not a jiva, a small one, one of the individuals in the entire creation. What does this teacher say? You are the entire. Which means what? You are everything. You are the entire dream world. Who is told this? The jiva, who takes himself just as one in this dream creation. Takes himself to be subject, different from all the objects. But he is told by this teacher that you are everything. You are even me. Because what is this dream world? Nothing but one creation. Similarly, here the teacher says, the teacher comes along. When the student has these questions, and what does the teacher say? You are everything. You are that which you are seeking. You are not just the body. You are not one confined just to this much. You are everything. That is being conveyed in the third line. Yas sakshat kurute prabodha samaye. This Dakshinamurti who was deluded. Deluded in which sense? He took the creation as real. To that Dakshinamurti ji, now when the teacher comes, teaches, you are everything. And he comes to know. Yas sakshat kurute prabodha samaye. Now he is woken up. Woken up from where? From the woken up to reality. From ignorance, he wakes up to reality. Dakshinamurti, who took himself to be one of the jiva, now wakes up. Wakes up means understand the teacher has come along. And he wakes him up. This is not literally given in the lines here, but we have to, because without the teacher, he cannot have the knowledge. So, he now wakes up. And what does he know? When he wakes up, he knows that Svatmanam eva advayam. He knows there is nothing but me. Thus, in the dream, the person, from the dream when you wake up, you come to know what? That the entire Boston was myself. In the dream, the entire Boston was who? Myself, my mind. Similarly, when you wake up from this world, when you come to know the reality of this, then you go, there is nothing but me. This animal is not different from me. This person, American, Indian, Britisher, everything is one. Svatmana eva advayam, one sees that I am nothing but one. The one Dakshinamurti ji who came to know this, to him I offer my salutations. Understood? So, shows that the life of Jiva is shown. The story of Jiva is shown in the first verse. That first he was deluded, took this as real, and then waking up. Waking up from what? Waking up from taking this unreal world as real. He has woken up. So he now no more looks upon this world as real, knows that it is unreal. But he earlier took it to be out. Now he knows that in. So waking up is from taking it to be from real. Now you know it is unreal. First you thought it is out. Now you know it is within me, my own mind, my own projection. Just as rope is taken to be snake. Where is that snake? Show. Where is that snake? Where does this snake remain? So long it was there, but on the rope. Rope was a snake. But now when you know the reality of the rope, where is snake? Gone. Because it was never there to begin with. It was never there to begin with. It was there as long as you took it to be real. You gave the satta and spurti to that snake. So, this one who comes to know, to such a Dakshinamurti ji, my salutations. So now we will do the second mantra in the second class. We'll conclude here. We'll begin again. We'll meet after 10 minutes or 15 minutes. Om Purnamata Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.